I must eat all the crumbs.
Hey friends, and welcome back to Farm Dream. My name is Claire Fagan, and in this video we're going to be going over a quick and delicious recipe for sourdough discard scones. So really quickly, just to recap, just in case, what sourdough discard is and how it differs from your regular sourdough starter is it is unfed, unripe starter that's left over from a feed. So when your starter is unfed, unripe, it has the consistency of pancake batter, it smells tangy, almost a little too tangy, and maybe has a hint of an alcohol smell, it's time to feed it. So what you do is you take a scoop of that starter, you put it in a bowl, and you mix in equal parts flour and water. When you do that, you typically don't use all of the starter that was in your jar, and what's left over is called discard. You can do two things with discard. One of them is discard it, throw it out. The other one is bake something delicious. So I love this recipe because you don't have to think too far in advance because there's no proof time. When you bake with sourdough discard, you're typically baking something that does not require a lot of rise. So sourdough crackers, they should be thin and flat, not fluffy, right? Sourdough pancakes and scones. Scones are a crumbly, delicious sort of pastry, kind of like a biscuit, but a little bit different somehow, less flaky, more crumbly, and they go great with coffee, with butter, as an afternoon snack, or at any time of the day. So let's use our discard and let's make some scones. Aside from the ingredients that are in the description box below, we're also gonna need a kitchen scale. I'm also gonna link this below in case you don't have one. In a large mixing bowl, we're gonna add 188 grams of organic unbleached flour. We're going to add 36 grams of granulated sugar, 15 grams of baking powder, 2 grams of a flaky kosher salt, 84 grams of cold unsalted butter cut into small cubes, 275 grams of sourdough discard, 120 grams of a heavy whipping cream, and last but not least, the mix-in of your choice. I did half a bag of dark chocolate chips. Next, you're gonna mix your dough by hand, and you wanna make sure that whatever you do, you get all of those butter chunks fully squeezed into your flour. So go really hard at that. And once your dough is all mixed together, like this, you're gonna flour your surface, and you're gonna knead your dough together just a little bit more to make sure all of that butter is fully incorporated and starting to melt down just a tiny bit. Once you have a nice ball of dough, you're gonna clean your surface off, get all of those little bits and pieces and all of that flour away. And you're gonna set out a piece of parchment paper. Put your dough on the parchment paper and shape it from a ball into about an 8-inch wide circle that's about 2 inches or so thick. Next, you're going to cut your scones. I just went ahead and cut mine into eighths. And then either on a baking sheet or in a cast iron skillet, you're gonna lay in your scones on the parchment, and you're gonna do your best to give them all a little bit of space from one another so they don't melt together when they cook. Now that they're separated, you're gonna brush each of them with a generous amount of heavy whipping cream. Once they're nice and coated, you're gonna give them all a sprinkle of turbinado cane sugar, and then you're gonna pop them in a 425-degree oven for about 30 minutes. And voila, here they are, hot and delicious. Once they've cooled for about 10-ish minutes, I'd say, they are a little bit better when you let them cool than if you eat them when they're piping hot. Slather those puppies with butter and enjoy. Wasn't that easy? It was pretty easy, huh? And they're so good and crumbly and like a little bit salty. They're not too sweet, which I really like about them. And like I said, they go great with a cup of coffee. Thank you so so much for watching, you guys. The recipe is down in the description box, and if you have any questions about this recipe or about sourdough in general, please feel free to comment below or shoot me an email. My inbox is always open. I hope you try this recipe at home, and I will see you guys next time. Oh my gosh, I put some starter in one of these tulip jars, and it's sitting on the other side of this table, and it just like popped open because it's bubbling. That scared me. Ah! Wait, I have to show you what it's doing. So the lid was on, and now it's exploding out. Because it's alive, you guys. It's alive.